Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Radiant You. I had an awesome call with one of my clients recently, and this is one of my favorite parts about those who really start seeing change in their lives, where they hop on a call and instead of bringing the things they're frustrated or the places they felt stuck, like when they first came to me, they start bringing all of the things they want to celebrate. They're so excited about the shift in their life and the new empowering feeling that's coming as they're applying the things that we've been learning together. And as I usually do, I had the session recorded so she could watch it back if she wanted later. And in the middle of the session, I just said to her, I would love to share this with the other women of the world to help them feel hope that it's possible. And she said, yes, share it with whoever you want. So today's episode is a little bit different. I just took a clip of that call, and you get to have a little peek into what it's like to celebrate how coaching can change your life. So here's a beautiful witness from one of my favorite friends. Enjoy.
I am on a spiritual high right now. There's
I
just
love
so
it.
many things that God is working out and weaving and connecting so many dots right now. I know the amazing things that God is doing currently in my life and has done even through hard times. And I want others to have this too, to have this
Yeah.
freedom. So I've told you before, I'm getting, I guess, another side of professional help, which one of your podcasts I listened to was explaining about how professional therapy talks about the past, and then
Mhm.
life coaching equips you to make life changes for the now and for the future.
Yeah.
And I resonated with that so much because that's exactly what's happening. I have a therapist that
Mm.
I go see every 3 to 4 weeks, and her and I
Good.
have just been hashing out the past. And there's been so much healing in that, which is
Mhm.
a large part of all of the spiritual breakthroughs I'm experiencing right now. But then you coming along and God saying, hey, here's another tool that I want you to have.
Yeah.
I want you to heal the past, but I want you to heal the current too and heal the future. Let's get it all out now. It just added a whole nother level of
Mhm.
healing. And I told myself at the beginning of this year, we're not surviving anymore. We're going to be thriving this year. And that's what I've kept telling myself. And that's an easy thing to tell yourself at the beginning of every year. You know, everyone's like, this is going to be my year. But it's
Yeah.
different for me because last year was a surviving year. I told myself at the beginning of last year when I found out I was pregnant, we're just going to be surviving and that's
Yeah.
okay. And that was my season last year. But I'm like, no, this year we're going to thrive. And God is helping me do that. I'm thriving right now and it's amazing.
I love it. What a
Yeah.
beautiful testament to God's hand in your life, your willingness
Hmm.
to learn and grow and heal and move forward. And you just witnessed one of the things that I feel so passionately about, that to get any true healing and true forward movement, you need three different types of support. You need
Hmm.
educational support, spiritual support, and social
Hmm.
support.
Mm. Yes.
And if you have that triad, that three-legged stool, you stand steady. If you don't have one of those, you fall over. And so you just captured that this is important
Hmm.
to have all of these pieces to truly have the support we need. And God wants us in community. He doesn't expect
Hmm.
us to do this alone. Like you said, God is orchestrating your life and weaving things together so that it creates that strong foundational support for you, and you're thriving. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to witness. And I'm
Yes.
honored to be a piece of that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just ready for more forward movement. And I
You're
know
ready
that's
to
going to come with
fly.
more, yes. And I know that's going to come with more hard things, more struggles, but I feel equipped to handle those. I'm not in la la land, like everything's going to be great and nothing's bad is going to happen anymore. I know the hard times are going to come and the struggles are going to come. And I just know God is bigger than anything
Yeah.
that could come. And whatever He brings me to, I just know I'm going to cling to Him and He's going to make me stronger because of it. And
And
so,
you're walking where he's inviting you to
mhm,
go. And that's why you
yeah.
have that confidence. That's why you're feeling the strength, is because
Mhm,
he keeps inviting you to different spaces that are a little
mhm,
different, a little new, a little unfamiliar. And you're like, okay, let's go. And that
Yeah.
willingness is what's creating the beautiful strengths that you're finding
Yeah.
because it's from him, but it's in you.
Yes. No,
It's
it and
in you.
it is. That's what I was just gonna like the thought that popped in my head as you were speaking. I'm like, it's not mine. It is his strength that he has so graciously given me.
You're
But
also feeling fulfilled with what you have, right? You're feeling confident and faithful that God will provide. But I think part of his providing is that fulfillment with what you have. He's
yeah.
giving you space to feel at peace and enjoy
Mhm.
instead of being that scarcity mindset. You feel abundant right now.
Mhm.
And your perspective is beautiful. And sometimes what we need is just someone to witness and share and just look back and see the growth. Look at what is and just celebrate it. That
Yeah.
is one of the best coaching tools you have because when you do that, you gain that positive momentum. You get that natural adrenaline of, yes, this is working. Like it's
Yeah.
good and the fruit is beautiful. And
Mhm.
it's there. And I love you also have the perspective of challenges come and that's going to be part
Mhm.
of it, but it's okay. And I'm here. And this is a beautiful transition in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of joked with myself about if things are going really good and then like voicing that to someone, and then as soon as you voice it, then maybe the next time it doesn't go quite as good or whatever, like kind of that
Uh-huh.
like superstition kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And I've always kind of like played that back in my head, like, don't get too excited about that because it might change. But now I'm shifting to no, the struggles are going to come no matter what. And I want God on my side through it. And I'm going to share the ups and the downs with people no matter what, because the downs are still going to come and they were always going to come at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to keep stepping out in faith. And there's going to be times where the devil's going to try and come and knock my knees out from under me. But it's just going to help build on the testimony that God's already given me, and God will be able to use those struggles for his glory too. And I'm just holding on to that. And I'd rather struggle and know that I'm being obedient and walking in God's will than struggle and then have the guilt of, oh, I should have done that when he put that on my heart and I didn't do it. And then have this struggle. And then, and it
Hmm.
snowball in the opposite way. Yeah.
Your heart and your focus are in places that will help you navigate those ups and downs.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Hmm.
This is thriving in life. This is what God
Hmm.
wants for us. This is why I love the analogy of light because this is living lighter and shining
Hmm.
brighter. It doesn't feel so
Hmm.
heavy. I have a clearer path. The light is in front of me. Do I have a completely bump-free, easygoing road? No, but it doesn't feel
Right.
as heavy and it doesn't feel as dark. It feels
Yes.
freeing. It feels
Yep.
empowering and it feels like you're not having to do it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Uh,
transitioning, you're growing, you're thriving, you're blossoming. It's beautiful. I love it. And I
yes.
love that you're just leaning into celebrating it today and saying, here's all the ways I see my growth. Here's my experience right now. There's ups and downs, but it's okay. And I think a lot of times as Christian women, where we get stuck is we feel like if I'm emotionally resilient, if I'm strong in my faith, then I don't need to reach out because I've got
Mhm.
this. My
Mhm.
faith is strong enough. If I'm not strong enough, I must not be faithful enough. And that
Mhm.
is straight up lies.
Yep, it sure is. And
It's
I
just,
believed them for a long time. Like,
mhm,
God should be able to help me right here at home. I shouldn't have to reach out. I am too busy. The busy,
mhm,
that is a
mhm,
huge lie,
mm.
right? It's like, actually, you're a train wreck and you need help. But that's also been very freeing knowing that I am useful right here. I didn't waste all these years that I could have read the Bible front to back and gained all this knowledge and whatnot. I didn't waste those. It is what it is, but He can use me right now. I just have to be willing. And oh, I just love saying it. It's
Yes,
just
that's such a
good.
powerful statement. He can use me right now. I just need to be willing. That's one to write down and practice. I feel like the destroyer wants us to be overwhelmed by the thought of being
Mhm.
useful. And so the
No.
imposter syndrome is like, no, you can't
Mhm.
be useful. You have to know more, do more, be more
Mhm.
before you can stand for God, but it's not true.
Right.
You just
Right.
said a minute ago that you feel equipped for whatever challenges are
Hmm.
in your path because you're building those muscles right now.
Hmm.
Because I don't need to just be okay all the time. I don't
Yeah.
need to just pray more and it's going to fix it. Yes, I want to bring prayer and I want to bring study and I want to bring God with me, but He wants me to use other tools besides that
Yes.
too. And it's empowering when you give yourself the freedom and the permission
Mhm.
to use that and not feel like you're doing something wrong or something's wrong with you because you need
Right.
something else. And the theme through all of this is what you're choosing to make things mean.
Yeah.
That you're choosing this. You're saying, I
Hmm.
could make this mean X, Y, and Z, but
Yep.
instead, I'm making it mean that I'm human, that I'm okay, that I have what I need, and that God will get me. Like
Yep.
that's it's how you're choosing to respond to it that is making you feel so at peace.
Absolutely. That's another powerful thing that I'm seeing in others and seeing in myself. My circumstances haven't changed much in the
Hmm.
past few months. The work is still the same. All my clients are still the same. Like the same things are due,
Hmm.
but I'm seeing it different. My work ethic hasn't even changed. Like I'm still getting work done at the same pace that I was 2 months ago. But like you said, I'm viewing that as okay. And that's a good thing. And viewing it as, look at all the work I did get done today or this week instead of all the work that I didn't. What was that we talked about in the master class?
The gap versus the gain.
Yes, that the gain mindset. I feel
Yeah.
like I've adopted that, looking at what is getting done and not just telling myself that, but believing it. Because I've been telling myself a
Yes.
lot of positive things over the last year, but it's been hard to believe it and feel it. And right now, I am able to believe it and feel it. And that feels so good. Because the last year, I have these things that I know to be true, but I don't feel what I know. And I've had that disconnect. And I'm like, how do I connect these two things? Or, yeah, these two things. And it's now I'm seeing it's with what were the three things you said? The three types of support: spiritual,
Educational and social.
educational, and social. Yes, these three
Mhm.
things, like that's been the gap between what I know to be true and that I want to feel it to be true also. And now
Yeah,
these things are coming together and it's like finally, yes, I knew this was possible and now like it is.
I love it.
Yeah.
Such a
Hmm.
beautiful witness of where you are and feeling hope again, you know,
Yes.
feeling that hope
Not
again.
just knowing that there's hope, but
Mhm.
feeling
Yes.
it.
Well, and a lot
Yeah.
of that is because you're cleaning up the things that were getting in the way, the
Hmm.
beliefs
Yes.
about yourself that were keeping you stuck,
Yes.
and you're believing you have power to shift it. And
Hmm.
just that belief that I can shift this, that I don't have to stay there, I don't have to stay stuck, I don't have to keep believing that.
Yep.
I can just drop
That's
it
right.
and move somewhere else.
Yep.
That action in your mind and in your heart is what's creating that space to truly feel it. You feel like a
Hmm.
creator again, not just a survivor.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
God has all these promises for us, and He tells us all we have to do is just receive them. He gives them to us when we become Christian, and that's been the most frustrating thing is I've had His power this whole time, but how do I get out of the way of
Yeah.
His power? And now I'm able to get out of the way,
Mm,
and it's oh so good.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm like, can I just record you and put you online so that people can see the beauty and the change so that they
go for
have the
it,
desire? I'm like, there might be some pieces of this conversation that gets put on a podcast or just on my
please.
website somewhere because I just
Yeah.
love your witness or your hope. Women of
Mhm.
the world need this. They need to
Yes.
remember that this is possible and even see the world is sending messages of doom and destruction right now
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
hopelessness. And
Hmm.
it's pulling us down. And we need to hear other women say, I'm experiencing something different. That's not where I'm at. And you can have that different hope and light and love and just healing too. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it really isn't. Like,
Right. Yeah, we have to get out of the way
Yeah.
because that's why it's hard, is because we're trying to control it. My dad was his own worst enemy in his business. We always talked about it, we always saw it. And I was just like, man, I don't want to be like that, but I am right now. And
Yeah.
I'm my own worst enemy. I'm being so hard on myself. I'm capable of more. There's more out there for me that God has for me, and I can't receive it right now because I'm in the way. All it took was me taking those steps to, well, let's try something new. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
the same old thing isn't working. Let's try something new. Let's try to reach out for some help. Let's try counseling. And if I don't like it, I don't ever have to go again.
Yeah.
Let's try having a life coach. And if I don't like it, or if, red flags, I don't ever have to go again. Let's just try, like nothing's set in stone. I'm not
Mhm.
signing my life away to anything. So all of the tries, which I haven't backed away from anything that I have, quote, tried. It's all
Yeah.
been phenomenal, which not everyone gets a wonderful counselor that they mesh with the first time.
Yes.
Very, very thankful that I did. Some little ounce of willingness just to
Mhm.
try something new, to, like you say, get unstuck out of these habits.
Mhm.
And then the small changes, because once again, that note by my bed that says, today is an opportunity, I am grateful.
Mhm.
I don't get out of bed any earlier than I did. I don't do anything different than when I first started. I just tried something new. I
Yeah.
just tried, let's put this thought in my mind every day and let's just see what happens. All these things layering on top of each other.
Line upon line, God says, right? This is the seeds that you're planting and you're allowing them to grow, but you have to plant that seed and let God grow it in you instead of trying to do it all ourselves. And
Right.
when we release that hold, that need to prove that we're valuable and our worth is
Mhm.
enough or our faith is enough, and we release it and say, okay, Lord, put me in a new place.
Mhm.
I'm willing to try.
Yes.
So many beautiful things start happening just like you
Yes.
witnessed, and it's freeing. It's like,
It's
"Oh,
so
this is what I've
freeing.
been waiting for
Yes.
years."
And being willing to say, okay, God, when we do make these changes, with all of this goodness happening, I have my vision of what I think is good and feels good and where I think God's leading my life, but then also saying, but God, if you want to take us a different direction through all of this, I'm willing for that. That's fine too. If this is not what you have for us, lead us where you want us. I feel like a sponge right now, and I
Yeah.
haven't been able to feel that in a while. And I'm craving learning and growth, and it just feels so good.
It does, you feel alive. You feel alive in the spirit,
Yes.
and you feel access to that life within you, and it's
Mm-hmm.
growing, and you feel the growth, and you're partaking of the fruit that comes when you
Mm-hmm.
grow, and you know there's seasons. A tree does not always give fruit.
Mm-hmm. That's
Sometimes
right.
it loses leaves and it needs this period of rest so that it
Right.
can grow more in the future. Totally beautiful, but you're experiencing the fruit season right
Mm-hmm.
now, and
Yes.
that is something to celebrate. And it has
Yes.
just filled my day with joy celebrating with you
Hey,
and
I'm glad.
witnessing this. And you are creating new neurological pathways in your brain right now.
Mhm.
Saying this all out loud is literally putting trails in your brain that is making old ones grow over and new ones be reinforced. And that will help you that when you do hit the rough, you're like, wait a minute, but I know those paths that work. I know the paths
Yes.
that bring joy, and I'm going to keep on those paths, even though it's going to be easy to want to go back to the old paths. You're like, that's a
Mhm.
choice.
Yep.
Yes, I can choose that. And I'm not bad if I choose that, but you can catch yourself and say, oh, I'm going down that other path that's not helpful for me mentally. We're going
Mhm.
to practice this. That's authentic. Like
Right.
you said, it's not just trying to force positive thought on yourself, but you
Right.
actually find ones that feel helpful, feel useful to you,
Yes.
honor what you believe in God, and bring you
Mhm.
forward. And sometimes
Yes.
those will sound really empowering and beautiful and full of light. And sometimes those will sound reassuring and comforting and compassionate, but they
Mhm.
don't need to sound like fear and doubt and hopelessness.
Right.
Those are never useful. So when we
Nope.
catch that and we rewrite, that's coaching.
Yes.
And you're doing
Absolutely.
phenomenally. It's beautiful to witness.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being a part of my journey and helping me to move forward
Absolutely.
and just break all of these patterns that have been just muck in my life for these past few years.
Well, God
Uh,
definitely brought us together. So I'm grateful to have
Absolutely.
you here. And again, I just keep praying for whoever else is ready to
Mhm.
find them and bring them on. Wasn't that just a breath of fresh air? I can't help but smile when I hear her excitement for life, her renewed hope, and just the freedom she feels as she's been purposefully creating her life in new and faithful ways. It makes me want to try something new, just like she has been willing to in her life. Take a moment and think about what that will be for you. What in your life is He calling you to do so that you can find that freedom and move forward, living lighter and shining brighter? Maybe it's trying out coaching. If that resonates with you or feels even a little bit exciting, go to thelightcoach.com and book one of my free Live Lighter sessions. Even one of them can help you feel the same type of freedom that this amazing friend just witnessed to you. I hope you have a wonderful day full of God's love, His light, and the excitement for life. It's possible. I know it is. I watch it in so many lives, and I've seen it in my own. And you deserve to feel lighter too. Have a blessed day, my friend. You are radiant, and God wants you to remember that truth. But sometimes you forget. Don't worry, I've got you. I've created some free resources that will help you live lighter and shine brighter. Check out my show notes for the links. Each week, I do a newsletter that gives you inspirational tips and tools to move forward one simple step at a time. We also jump in on a free monthly masterclass to discover more of that radiant you. If you are ready to really dive deep and see your life transform with more self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-love, you can also book a free Live Lighter session where we uncover the patterns where you are being stuck and see the path forward. However God guides your next steps, know that you are not alone on this journey, and we are here ready to support you. I can't wait to see how you discover a more radiant you.